Disclaimer: all of the equipment by Moza Racing in this video was sent to me by Moza Racing for testing and review. However, this has no effect on my opinion or what I say in this review. I do not receive money from Moza, nor does Moza have any influence on what is shown or discussed in this video. My opinions, thoughts and findings are my own. With that out of the way, enjoy the video. Here it is, the Moza GS, and it's just perfect. Right, before we go any further, let me just deal with the armchair experts in the comment section. I am fully aware that there are people with adenoids in the comment section right now. Oh, that looks very similar to a Formula V2 from Fanatec. Haha, well, you can't fool me. I've got that keen eye. Now, it's clearly clear that they are copying. It's almost like you're saying that it being designed that way is a bad thing. Yes, these steering wheels totally don't look similar either, do they? But I don't see anybody complaining about this lot. Yes, it has some resemblance to the V2, but honestly, who cares? The V2 is an excellent rim, so the big question is this also an excellent rim? Well, let's dive in, but first we need to turn on the lights and take a closer look. Prices start at around $499, and for that you get quite the selection. Magnetic shifters and dual clutch paddles come as standard. The front is made from forged carbon fiber. The grips are Alcantara, 5 very well made dials on the front, with 2 thumb operated rotary encoders. And while on the surface it looks similar to the V2, the difference is in the details. The thing with it is that it doesn't actually feel like a Formula V2 whatsoever. Even if you were to jump straight from one onto one of these, and the buttons are all in fairly similar places, it feels rather different in my hands. It feels wider, girthier. It feels like I have to move my arms around a lot more, so I feel more involved with the car. Once again though, Moza has absolutely knocked it out of the park with the feeling of the dials. They're all very easy to reach, and they've got such a good feel in my fingers that there's no difficulty in adjusting anything on the wheel. You don't have to pinch your fingers just to twist the dial, you just go for it like you do with a regular knob. Honestly, if you hate this wheel just because it looks like another wheel that's on the market, you are either mad or random call sign. It's pretty much impossible to hate this wheel, I think. I love you, Ricardo, by the way. The GS steering wheel gives off a feeling that is very natural and comfortable to use. Now, some might say that you can just attach any wheel to a DD base and it'll work just the same way. Not necessarily. For one, the wheel needs to be able to receive and translate the detail of what the car is doing through the force feedback, and that's easier said than done. Many factors need to be taken into account, such as wheel size, diameter, the grips for your hands, the placing of the buttons, the ease of access to all the switches. There is a lot of things to take into consideration, and if just one of those things fails to deliver, then it could make or break a wheel. Moza have got it right, and I don't mean they've just got it right, they've got it absolutely perfect. The size of the wheel is slightly bigger than what I'm used to, however, I'm actually preferring it. I have to apply more arm movement, which means because of that I feel I can be more accurate with my inputs while going into a corner, and because of that I feel like I am less likely to over-input. The button layout is also a masterpiece, and while there are similarities to the V2, it is still a different layout. I can reach all of the buttons on this steering wheel without taking my hands off the wheel. A small detail that I absolutely love about this wheel as well is that all of the buttons are backlit. Now normally backlit buttons are something that you normally see on the more expensive higher end wheels like Cube Controls, Gomez steering wheels. But here we are with this Moza GS wheel. All of the buttons are nicely lit up. What's great about that is that if you're a person that likes to get really immersed in nighttime racing, especially if you're racing in a 24-hour race, say for instance you're racing in the 24 hours of Spa, and you've got the lights turned out in your room just to replicate what it's like driving in the dark. It's a nice comforting feeling knowing that you can see the buttons still when it's dark.
The main question that will be on everybody's mind at this point in the video is, what's the catch? There's gotta be something wrong with it. And truth be told, there isn't. I have even tried to look for an issue that I have with this wheel. It is honestly that good. Well, maybe one thing.
There is... I really hate bringing this up, okay, but there is one thing I need to bring up, okay, that really tickles me, okay, and it just makes me go, oh, for goodness sake, come on. Let me pull over. This is the only issue, and it isn't really an issue, that I have with this steering wheel. So, it's got something to do with the dials that I have here. So if we look at the engine map, it goes all the way around, and you'll see that the maximum number is 12. Do the same here. The maximum number is 12 on the turbo. Do the same here. The maximum on the traction control is 12. We do the same here. The maximum on the differential is 12. We come to the ABS. The maximum on the ABS is max. And then 10. It starts at 0. Why did you do this? Just make that the same, please. If anything, just make that the same. If you are one of the people that is still hung up on the fact that, oh, it looks very similar to a Fanatec Formula V2, then all I have to say to you is this. Every little problem that I've had with the Fanatec V2, mainly down to personal preference, really, is pretty much fixed on this thing. It doesn't appear here. A common complaint with the Fanatec Formula V2 is the little rotary encoders, the thumb dials. A common complaint with the V2 is that they are very loose, and if you happen to wear gloves, which I would recommend you do if you own a direct drive wheel, it's very easy to knock that. Many people like to use these rotary encoders for like brake balance and differential adjustments, whereas here on the GS wheel, that isn't a problem whatsoever. You have to consciously make an effort to rotate these things. You don't twist these accidentally. Just small things like that that make a big difference. I've been using this wheel for a few weeks now, and I've loved every moment of it. From the moment I got it out of the box and just hooked it up to my rig. It's been pure joy using this wheel. It's easy to use, it's comfortable, and it makes you feel very involved with the car, because it is slightly bigger than you expect. Slightly. But that slight difference makes a big difference. I'm gonna say it. It's my favourite wheel. It's the best steering wheel I have. It's absolutely flawless. I'd say if you own a Moza, doesn't matter which wheelbase you own, this steering wheel is a must-have. I would go as far as saying that Moza should release this steering wheel with the capacity to be mounted to other quick releases. For example, the Podium hub from Fanatec. I'm honestly speechless at how good this wheel is. Honestly.
In conclusion then, this wheel is simply incredible. There isn't a single thing wrong with it at all. And yes, the thing with the odd dial is more down to me being OCD than anything. But besides that, if you are an owner of a Moza direct drive base, or you are thinking about getting one, this steering wheel is a must-have. And I don't use that term lightly. What I do genuinely think Moza should do next is actually implement a USB-C port somewhere on the rim, so if you don't have a Moza direct drive base, you'd be able to use this steering wheel still. Not to mention, I do also think that Moza should be releasing this steering wheel where a different quick release system can be attached. But in conclusion, this wheel, performance, looks, feel, everything, absolutely flawless. Anyway guys, this is the end of the video, and I hope you have enjoyed your time here. If you have enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, and if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button with the notification bell. And while you're here, why not check out the lovely sponsors over there on the left hand side of the screen. These guys provide for me all of the lovely sim racing gear that I use, and the sim racing merch that you guys can buy. And just to reiterate that we are as fair as we possibly can here, both links to Fanatec and Moza are in the description. And just before we go, a little reminder that we also have a Patreon. So if you guys want to help me out that little bit extra, it would be greatly appreciated. Any donation made goes towards improving these videos, and you guys get goodies in return, including unreleased merch. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next review. Have a good night, everybody.